Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here, and it is time for our 600th episode, wow, of Mega Maker. Surprised I have this many already. So yeah, for this, we're going to be featuring the top 10 best special weapons. This is just my opinion, my rankings. I rank them based on, the weapon's strength, their versatility, what all they can do, the range, energy consumption. There's a lot of factors that you can, factor into this sort of thing. So do keep in mind, especially with this one, it is all opinionated. These are my opinions, my rankings. I'm sure everybody's is going to look a bit different, and that's okay. That's why these things are fun. So with that, I will meet you in the stage. I'm not going to click on the stage here because it's going to show the little pop-up with all the weapons and that. And I want it to be a surprise for you guys as you watch through here. After this episode gets uploaded, I will upload these stages to Mega Maker as well. Because right now we're in the offline mode doing this. So I will meet you in the stage. Alright, and we're going to have the same type of setup as the top 10 worst weapons. Just same sort of aesthetic, same sort of concept. Just here's the weapon, and then here's some places where you can try it out. Take a guess what I'm picking for number 1. See if you guys can guess it. So with that, 10th best weapon, in my opinion, is Hornet Chaser. This list, just like the last one, what I did was I went through all of the weapons in Mega Maker, and I just listed out the ones that I thought were really good. I ended up with a list of about 17 weapons, and then from there I narrowed it down to the top 10, and from there I kind of just asked myself which weapons would I rather have over the others. And that's kind of how I rank them. So Hornet Chaser kind of came in at number 10, and it is very versatile. It is a homing weapon as well, and it picks you up the items that enemies drop and brings them back to you. Sometimes if it's not as good against larger enemies, but when it takes out an enemy, it'll continue along its path of destruction. And so these can also be great, like if you're going through like a tricky platforming section, and you've got like some smaller enemies that'll harass you that can usually be killed with 1 or 2 hits. Hornet Chaser is amazing in those sections, provided you have it. And yeah, just the ability for it to return health and weapon pickups to you is also fantastic. So that is why I rank it at number 9. It also homes in on enemies. Well, it's Hornet Chaser, chases them down. Coming in at number 9 is Leaf Shield. This shield takes a little bit of finagling, but you can like really just abuse this. Like, see, I can switch back. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I can switch back, and I'm not actually using any weapon energy right now. Also, if you press it while you're moving, I'm not using any weapon energy. Of course, the moment you press a direction or another direction, you will have used it, and it one-shots those dogs. So that's pretty nice. It absorbs projectiles. You can really abuse this thing as far as conserving its weapon energy consumption, and it's pretty dang powerful. There's not a whole lot that won't be damaged by this and quickly worn down and worn out. So for that, it's going to get the number 9 spot. Coming in at number 8 is Black Hole Bomb. This weapon is just fun. The reason it's not higher is, well, we'll get into that. But you can see it just sucks up enemies, sucks up projectiles. It only sucks up one thing, though, at a time. It doesn't multi-damage the enemies quite as well as it did in Mega Man 9. But yeah, you can also use this thing as like a barrier. I've got some enemies that are like going off screen. You can also use the thing as kind of a barrier. Like if you're standing near it, enemy projectiles will just be launched up Yeah, nightmare frogs! Just launch all your nightmare frogs right into the thing. That is ridiculous. That was just silly, and I wanted to just suck up a whole bunch of nightmare frogs there. So yeah, once you have it out, like if you're done with it, or if it's done hitting the enemy, you can switch off of it. It's a little bit slow, and you can control it up and down. So it takes a little bit of positioning, but the attack radius is even a bit larger than what its graphic looks like. So yeah, it's pretty nice, and that's why I got number 8. Number 7 is Hyper Bomb. Man, did this weapon get an upgrade from Mega Man 1. So what it does now is it just hyper bombs things. As soon as it connects with something, it will explode in 4 directions. Huge explosions, lots of damage. It pierces shields. It hardly uses any energy. I mean, if you don't get it to land on something, it'll still go off, and it'll still create that big, massive explosion. It's so good. You can only have one out of the screen, but yeah. Just being able to pierce enemy shields, massive attack radius, great weapon energy consumption. How could it not be on this list? Coming in at number 6 is Flashstopper, or what I like to call the Bright Idea. It's Bright Man's weapon. So, this weapon, you get to freeze time and still fire your Mega Buster. This also freezes level gimmicks as well. Freezes Big Eyes. Look at this. There's no comparison between that and Flashman's Time Stopper when dealing with Big Eyes. So the fact that you can still fire your weapon and damage enemies, and you get to freeze level gimmicks, freeze enemies, freeze projectiles, makes it pretty versatile and very useful. Coming in at number 5, oh, and I love this music too, is Ballet Cracker. This thing has a huge amount of weapon energy. Look at that. 2 shots for 1 little tick on our weapon energy bar here. It also pierces shields. It also creates this little explosion that will damage other enemies that are in the vicinity. Pretty good power. Good versatility. You can fire this in all kinds of different directions. Like, I don't even need to get down with that power muscler to deal with him. And then there's a random tiger that we can just explode. So yeah, I love having Ballet Cracker. Anytime it appears in my weapon repertoire in the stage, it's always one of the best. Love having it. Coming in at number 4 is Power Stone. Yeah, we made a joke last time about putting it on the worst weapon list, but in this game, it got such an upgrade. Look at that. One shot, and just clears out so much drama. Look at all of this. If it does happen to miss an enemy, that is kind of the downside. It can happen. It's not super likely, because it has a good, like, sort of quick attack. But then you have to wait until it completely goes off the screen before firing it again. Great weapon ammo as well. And it just obliterates some mini-bosses like those cats in 1 or 2 hits. So yeah, it's hard to not like Power Stone in this game when it almost functions like a screen-clearing weapon, is how strong and versatile it is. You don't even really have to aim it. Coming in at number 3, if you guys have watched this channel, you know that Jewel Satellite is my favorite shield weapon in all of Mega Man, at least up to this point. I don't know if they're going to come up with more, but how many times has it been where we put on Jewel Satellite and we're like, let's just pretend this is difficult. Look at all this. All these small enemies, you just take them out in one shot. It reflects projectiles, it reflects chunky missiles. Nothing gets to do anything. That section could have been a huge hassle if we didn't have that. This will instantly kill any enemy that would die in 1 or 2 shots. And you get to keep the barrier. And you're like completely invincible, almost, with this. It's really amazing. And you can launch it. I mean, it takes a chunk of weapon energy, but it is worth it. Coming in at number 2 is Centaur Flash. If you notice, these are filling up in like a seemingly random order. That's because if you're playing this stage, I don't want you to think that you know the top 10 or how they're positioned just by looking at the starting screen where it shows you all the weapons you're going to get. So, yeah. Centaur Flash. We have a running joke on this channel that Centaur Flash just does everything. It damages enemies. It acts as a screen wipe. It makes you invincible, gives you invincibility frames. It stops enemies if it does not kill them. It stops level gimmicks. It adds $5 to my bank account every time I use it. Look at this, invincibility frames. Don't even need to deal with that, big eye, just invincibility frames and run by them. Coming in at number 1, did you guess it? Dive Missile. Dive Missile, I did give a hint for this a little while back. It homes in, it is quick, it makes explosions that will continuously damage enemies. Aiming is not really required. It's not as great against the bigger enemies. You can sink some amount of Dive Missile into it. But it is so just easy to use, easy to abuse, and just makes your life so much easier. It's quick, it homes in, and only uses one tick per use. Ballet Cracker, you have to aim a little bit, and it only goes in a few different directions. This one, nope, you just use it, and it explodes. I love Dive Missile in this game. Basically, any stage you play where you have Dive Missile, you'll have an easier time with that stage because you have Dive Missile. And for that, I had to give it the number 1 spot. When I first thought of doing this stage and coming up with this, Dive Missile was my immediate pick for number 1. And then I had to figure out, what else was going on this list. So yeah, those are my picks for top 10 special weapons. What are your top 10? And do you agree with the order? Is there something different you would have? I'm sure Doc would have Power Stone at number 1. But yeah, those are my picks, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And with that, I will see you guys next time.